If your life depended on it, which flashlight or torch brand would you choose? In this video, I look at 3 flashlights from Armament Systems and Procedures, or ASP, developed for use in law enforcement and the military, to see what makes this brand stand out from the crowd.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
The chances are, if you're in law enforcement anywhere in the world, you will be familiar with ASP or ASP, as they've been supplying police forces for more than 40 years across the globe and are best known for their defence batons, which dominate the market to such an extent that many simply now refer to any baton as an ASP. This video is not sponsored, but I would like to thank ASP for agreeing to send me the lights featured here for this review. And what I have here is the Scribe, the Tungsten and the Raptor, and these are examples of ASP's small, medium and large flashlights. Let's start with the Tungsten. This box gives a good first impression. It's really solid with a magnetic closure, and in the box we have the flashlight, which is in this travel case, which is lined and nicely made, and then we also have a bespoke 18650 battery. This is a protected battery, and when I say protected, it's protected against overcharging, short circuit, fast discharge, that kind of thing. But that means this flashlight won't work with a standard 18650 battery. Also in here we have this really nice heavy duty retractable charging cable. Okay, let's concentrate on the flashlight itself, which weighs in at 4.2 ounces or 120 grams, including the battery. So not too heavy and feels very well made, utilizing this high strength T6 aluminium with this matte black hard anodized finish. And that finish extends to the screw threads as well, which you don't always see in a flashlight. We have here an optical glass lens and a high quality Cree XPG LED. The first real visible point of difference is this pocket clip here, which is really substantial compared with many other flashlights. It's detachable and reversible and feels pretty indestructible, ideal for belt carrying or for mollywebbing. The next main point of difference is this 3-position rotary tail switch, which works in conjunction with the thumb tactical switch at the rear. And this incidentally can be operated easily with gloves on. And this is a pointer to 2 key elements of this flashlight and ASP flashlights in general, and that is simplicity and reliability. Often explaining the operation of a flashlight can take several minutes. This one will take just a couple of seconds. You simply press the tail switch once to bring on the light at full brightness, which is 430 lumens in this case, and then a second press, or it could be a double tap, will bring it on at a low level brightness, which is 15 lumens. Not hard to remember at all. The rotary switch has 3 positions. We have momentary on. When you press and hold, it comes on, let go and it goes off. Then we switch to a locked mode, and that is to prevent accidental activation. Then we have constant on, so you press it, it comes on, and you have to press it again for it to go off. So it's very obvious, there's nothing really to remember here, and it's actually really satisfying with this very tactile feel. The simplicity is key, because in life-threatening situations you have to be able to use this light under stress and quickly and without thinking. Any complexity in the operation could potentially stall your brain, and that could be very bad news when every second counts. And all the contact springs and switch contacts used here are gold plated for better conduction and improved corrosion resistance, again leading to more reliability. Also, there's a spring contact at both ends of the battery, which is there to prevent disconnection in the event that the flashlight is dropped. Often what happens if the flashlight is subjected to a shock, there is a quick disconnection of the battery and then the flashlight will go out. So there's every chance if you drop this flashlight it will continue to function as normal. What you don't get here though is a ticket to the lumens race, and by that I mean there are plenty of other flashlights out there which are much more powerful in terms of brightness. But for this application, too much power, I'm told, can be a bad thing, with what is referred to as backscatter, which is reflected light in a closed environment which can dazzle the user. So usable power is the key here, along with a practical beam pattern, which in this case is a center hotspot and a good amount of light spill to light up a room. The quoted range on this light is 126 meters, although that can be a misleading figure. And for an explanation as to why that is, check out this video linked here. Another important consideration is the continuous run times, and this flashlight can operate for 3 hours and 30 minutes on the high setting and 110 hours on the low setting, which is pretty good. You'll notice we have a DF designation here, and that stands for dual fuel. And this is a common feature of ASP flashlights and means that if your battery runs flat and you don't have a charged spare, you can use disposable batteries as a backup, which in this case would be CR123 batteries. The dual fuel provides a safety net if you need it, pointing once more to that focus on reliability in the field. This flashlight is tested to withstand a 2-meter drop onto concrete, which is actually more than most flashlights. As far as the IP rating goes, which is water protection, it's not really mentioned in the specs, but I did read somewhere that this is IPX4, which is actually less than most flashlights that you come across these days. It means it can withstand a water spray, and in practical terms, it should survive most encounters with water, except for perhaps prolonged submersion. When it comes to charging, the tungsten avoids the issue of having a USB charging socket exposed to the elements or covered with a flimsy rubber flap. Instead, the socket is protected here behind this screw down collar. Also here we have an LED which shows the charging status and also the battery level when the flashlight is in use. Somewhat disappointingly, the flashlight utilizes a micro USB socket for charging when we'd all prefer to see a USB-C socket. I asked ASP about this and they explained that their existing users are all geared up around micro USB and it works, so they're not in a massive hurry to change, but they will at some point no doubt need to update the design. One of the challenges of micro USB is the fact that it only connects one way round, so you often find yourself trying to put the plug in upside down and it becomes fiddly and annoying. ASP have made an effort to address this by having a bi-directional plug which will actually go in either way, so that really helps. Also, the battery can be charged independently of the flashlight because it has a built-in micro USB socket and charging indicator light. Now this means you can be charging the battery but still have the flashlight available utilizing the dual fuel option or perhaps a spare battery. And again, that points to usability and reliability in the field. And the ASP Tungsten costs $162. Most of these features here are part of the ASP flashlight DNA, which can also be seen in the larger variant I have here, the Raptor. We have here with the Raptor the same travel case and retractable charging cable. The Raptor though is much bigger and brighter with a maximum output of 1900 lumens, and it utilizes a Cree XHP 70 LED. It weighs 9.2 ounces or 261 grams including batteries, and it has the same hard matte black anodized finish but with the more powerful LED and a bigger and deeper reflector. It has a much longer range at 240 meters. Interestingly, it utilizes the same proprietary 18650 2600 milliamp hour battery, and therefore, as you might expect, the run times are reduced. So at 1900 lumens you have 1 hour and 30 minutes, and at 15 lumens you have 14 hours, which seems to suggest the bigger LED draws more power than the one in the tungsten at 15 lumens. One point of difference with the Raptor is that it gives you 3 options when it comes to the secondary light mode accessed via the double tap. These options are the 15 lumen mode plus a 300 lumen mode and a strobe mode, and to choose which one you prefer you need to access this switch here, which is hidden under the collar which is protecting the USB charging socket. So if we wanted strobe to be our secondary lighting function, which is generally used to disorientate an attacker and therefore could be useful, we simply use the switch here to step through the different options until we get to strobe. So we switch the light on and then we press here. We have strobe, we have 15 lumens and we have 300 lumens, and then back to strobe. Turn it off and now it's set. So if I press once, it comes on at high brightness, and if I press again, it comes on at strobe, and it doesn't really get any easier than that. The 300 lumen, incidentally, which is one of the secondary lighting modes, has a runtime of 3 hours and 15 minutes, and the strobe can operate continuously. Not that you'd want it to, but it can for 1 hour and 37 minutes. The beam pattern is again center hotspot and lots of room filling light spill. The general operation is the same as before, utilising the tail switch and the rotary switch. So the light comes on first at maximum brightness, and then a second press brings up the secondary mode, which in this case has been pre-selected using the hidden switch. We have here the same tough removable and reversible belt clip and a more aggressive, now stainless steel, strike bezel. We also have the addition of this foam vinyl grip, which is very effective and the same as proven in use with the ASP batons. As before, this has dual fuel capability for use with CR123 batteries, and the Raptor costs $244. Finally, let's have a look at the smallest one, the Scribe. This is very compact in a pen-like style and very lightweight at 2.2 ounces or 62 grams, and this is designed to be easily pocketable. This also follows the same DNA we've seen before. We have a tough removable pocket clip, matte black hard anodized coating, dual fuel capability, and a tail switch with 2 light modes. We have a high level output of 330 lumens on the first press and a low level of 15 lumens with the second press. No rotary switch here, but momentary on is achieved quite easily using a half press on the tail switch. There's no lockout switch here, but a simple half turn on the tail cap will prevent accidental activation. We have here a Cree XPG LED behind an optical glass lens, and the beam pattern is the same as before. That is a center spot with plenty of light spill. This flashlight utilizes a 10900 700 milliamp hour rechargeable battery, which also has a built-in micro USB charging socket, which is the only way to charge this light, and the battery also has an LED built in to show the charging status. As a dual fuel flashlight, the rechargeable battery here can be swapped out, this time for 2 AAA batteries, which is great to see. On full brightness, this will run for 1 hour on a single charge, and on the low 15 lumen level, it will run for 23 hours. There's no retractable cable or travel pouch with this model, but you do get this really neat, tiny charging cable, which could go on a keyring, and it incorporates the bi-directional micro USB plug. And the Scribe costs $86. So let's quickly see all 3 in action. Okay, so we are outdoors now. The wall is about 20 meters away. Let's start with the Scribe, which offers a surprisingly broad level of light considering its size and output power. Then we have the Tungsten, quite a tight beam pattern compared. And then we have the Raptor, obviously a broad beam pattern here and a bright hot spot, which kind of points to its much longer range capability. Then indoors, again the Scribe, plenty of light here for an indoor setting. Then the Tungsten, and then the Raptor. So all very capable. These flashlights are designed and developed in the US and manufactured in China, and I know this is a problem for some people, but it has to be said that this is where the best manufacturing skills and quality of production can often be found. And let's face it, there's a reason why your iPhone is made there. And the factory used here is dedicated to ASP, which will be a big help when it comes to quality control, which is probably why ASP can offer a lifetime warranty on their flashlights. So what do I like? Well, the quality is immediately obvious and the design and materials used are great, and the simplicity of operation is a powerful feature, particularly for use in the military and for law enforcement. The 2 light levels will cover most use cases, and the focus on reliability and usability shows through with features like the concealed charging port, tough practical belt clips, accessible switchgear, dual fuel, good battery life and quality components. There is also lots of choice in the ASP flashlight range, and I'll have links in the description below if you want to see more. What don't I like? Well, the price is high compared with what else is out there. So unless simple operation and reliability are at the top of your list, there are going to be other options. There's also no doubt that the use of micro USB is also going to put some people off. The proprietary battery means you can't use your existing 18650 batteries, and the lack of functionality like firefly mode or beacon mode or multiple light levels might be a problem for some. And of course, if you need huge light output or very long range, you're going to want to look elsewhere. However, when the SH1T hits the fan and you need something that has to work without fail and without thinking, the ASP is the one I would grab. And if you wanted to check out some other flashlight reviews, then click on this link here. That's it for this video. Thanks as always for watching. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next one.